Hi, I'm Tyler Pope. I play bass in LCD Soundsystem, and I'm going to be talking about the Chelsea pedal by Earthquaker Devices. In the 90s, I was in two bands, Out Hud and Chick Chick Chick, or spelled like 3 exclamation points. We were touring around a lot in the 90s, in vans, playing in people's kitchens, basements, various punk houses around the United States. And band that we would always end up on the bill with was this band called Party of Helicopters. One of the members of the band, Jamie Stillman, was just always like a great dude to run into when we'd end up on the road and end up, oh, Party of Helicopters is playing. All right, Jamie, get to see Jamie. And so we got to be, friends, and we would stay with them when we'd be in Akron. But that was, 1998, I guess, when that was going on. But 2015, I have kids, I live in Germany now. I was like, my life is very different. I mean, I'm still a musician, obviously playing with LCD, but another father of one of the daughters at the preschool, we're just making small talk and, oh, I play guitar and blah, blah, blah. He's like, have you heard of this company, Earthquaker Devices? And I was like, no, I've never heard of this. And he's like, man, they make the coolest pedals. This was just like some random German guy at my daughter's preschool. And he had the organizer pedal, I messed around with it a bit, and I was like, wow, this is great. I think a couple of years later, I was talking to my good friend Dave Scott Stone, and he was telling me about Earthquaker Devices again, and I was a big fan of what I had so far. One of them being the organizer, and I think maybe the Pyramids pedal. It was like my favorite pedal flanger. And then Dave, he's like, oh, it's Jamie Stillman from Party of Helicopters, and I was kind of just like, what? I was just kind of blown away, of course. You know what I mean? I actually knew the person that was making these pedals that I like so much. So we had this pedal with LCD that we would use, and it was a big muff distortion pedal, which usually isn't used for bass, and it had this sound to it that was it was kind of starved, like when your battery's just running out and it's just starving the distortion in a really cool way that it actually lets the bass kind of through in a way. We bought a bunch of big muffs from the same year, but none of them had this sound, and it was just it was driving us crazy for years. So what we would do as a solution was just carry this one, big muff around from the 70s to every show that we played. And we were popular, we played tons of shows. And of course, those pedals aren't it's from the 70s, they're vintage. I felt it was kind of losing some of that magic already, right? And so that was another kind of sad part of this story, right? And then we had one of our crew members who's also connected to Earthquaker throw the idea out there to give Jamie the pedal and see if he could figure out what it was that was making it sound that way that other big muffs didn't have. And turns out that it just had this particular transistor in it that perhaps at the factory they ran out of transistors that day, and maybe some employee just grabbed one from a shelf and put it in there. And so it's I don't even know if there was any other big muffs at all that had this particular thing to it. But Jamie figured it out. He kind of cracked the code or whatever. And he came up with the initial prototype of what is now going to be released as the Chelsea pedal. And yeah, right from the get-go, we could tell that it was gonna work. I was when you get a new pedal, you just feel like you can play these extra cool little bits and whatever, add to the song, and it sounds cool. And I was doing a little bit of that, and it was just everybody was just really blown away and excited that day. I remember about the pedal, literally the whole band. Yeah, I'm just very, grateful that Earthquaker was able to do this and crack that code, man. I think Losing My Edge sounds better than ever. Movement sounds better than ever. I'm sure on the new record there'll be some other more we're kind of going back to like that sound, I guess. So I'm sure I'll be using it more on the new songs and the next tours we do and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just like, man, so grateful for this pedal, like truly grateful. It's funny to say, yeah, but it's like, I'm just like, I saw Jamie and Julie in Berlin, and I was just like, gave them the biggest hug. I was like, oh man, you don't even know like how much I appreciate this. It's funny. Yeah, I encourage everybody to, try it out. Especially, yeah, if you listen to Losing My Edge, check out the bass sound. Go get a Chelsea and you can get that bass sound.